Hey all you nerds, Gabe, aka Froopy Art here, and in the last episode, Mal accidentally released a couple unknown entities from containment in the central lab. So Mal has got a knack for messing up old research stations. Mal is furiously typing at the center computer terminal.
Oh, the professor's gonna kill me. According to this, whatever was in those frozen chambers were super early attempts at creating hybrid Pokemon. They are extremely unstable and dangerous. I think we may have put the whole island in jeopardy here. Yes, stop giving me that look, but the lab is lacking the power needed to access any further data. But according to this, there is a power station off to the west. If you can get that back online, we should be able to learn all we need to stop any peril that I may have put the island in. There, you happy?
You agree and begin heading west. Immediately leaving the lab, you are reminded how difficult this will be as you run straight into a new species of Pokemon. We're starting things off strong with a design from Kato. She is a talented artist, and I will link to her DeviantArt page in the description. Now, I'm a sucker for anything that uses archaeological concepts, and Kato decided to incorporate the medieval process of trepanning. That's like boring a hole into a person's head to release the evil spirits. She combined this with a kappa, a Japanese yokai, and that has like a hole or a bowl in the top of its head, so it works really well. I mean, I think technically Golduck is supposed to be a kappa, but Kato's design just does it way better. So, yeah, just a great non-animal based concept that fits really well into the region. Let's go ahead and say hello to Impanion, the unlucky duck Pokemon. This hapless creature lives in murky waters and jumps at the chance to be cared for by a trainer. A ghostly parasite saps its energy, making it sluggish and reluctant to battle. But if pushed to its limit, it can release torrents of chilling water and spectral energy. It is thought to be an ancestor to both Psyduck and Lotad, and its ability is Cursed Body. That means that it may disable a move that is used against it. This ghostly little buddy is pretty happy to chill in a small pond, and you sneak past. You see large power cables leading to the west, and you follow them. You start descending the mountain, and the vegetation begins to thin out immediately. It is out here that you spot evolutions to two of the new Pokemon here on Site B. The first up is an evolution for Snewteruff, the fictitious Rhinograde submitted by Salvris. Now, obviously the first stage was adorable, but Salvris was holding off on giving it the truly specialized hand-like nose that, Rhinogrades are known to hop around with. Now, the other thing that completely won me over about this design, and honestly, it's kind of completely unrelated to the inspiration, but I just recently started watching the One Piece anime, and the two nose arms on this Rhinograde just give me major, stretchy Monkey D. Luffy vibes, and I dig that. Okay, let's go ahead and meet the evolution. Snewteruff, the fist nose Pokemon. With their nose now sporting two stretchy arm-like appendages, this Pokemon is now quite formidable. Able to use their nose for locomotion, they are very speedy, while being able to deliver powerful punches. The rubbery nature of their noses allows them to extend and reach targets far taller than them. And its ability is Iron Fist, since they are going to be punching everything, and that boosts punching moves. It's a pretty tough little guy, but luckily they aren't very antagonistic. But further on, you see a much larger and more imposing Pokemon in your way. Now, we already got the ancient fungus-based Pokemon Necrotot from Escondida 17, but when it evolves, they really let it look like the massive tree-like fungus that grew on land before trees ever existed. Not only that, But this tiny little wizard hat is getting an upgrade too. I mean, it still definitely looks like a wizard, and even has those kind of twisted arms that feel like magic wands casting a spell. But it's so big that the overall shape ends up reading like a wizard's tower instead. And bringing in those spores, we've got these jutty outbits on the sides that read both as mushroom caps and bits of roofing. Very fun. Oh, and like the last stage, we're maintaining the mono poison typing here. All right, let's meet Sorcelium, the odd tree Pokemon. Before trees existed, this towering Pokemon littered the ancient landscape in their place. They towered over most predators and used their spores to control their actions. How they produce their spores in a conjuring manner is enough to dissuade most from advancing, and their ability remains Effect Spore. After seeing these two evolutions, you'll have to let me know which of these lines would you add to your team. As you get closer to the power station, you start to understand how it is generating its power. Fissures in the earth are blasting up superheated steam, and you gather that the mild volcanic activity is powering a geothermal plant. The cracked path is quite treacherous as you do your best not to topple into any of the magma-filled ravines. You see the small power plant ahead of you, but there are some Pokemon in the way. The first seems to thrive on this heat. Yeah, I got the coolest looking Intellidont design from Thog, and I just had to get it into the decks. If you're not familiar with Intellidonts, think of them as gigantic, carnivorous, pig-like creatures. In fact, they have earned the name Hell Pig. And Thog took that nickname and gave us something that looks like it just crawled its way out of the underworld. And this is pretty great, as so far we've had a lot of little cuties in the DLC and could use some more intimidating beasts. Alright, let's go ahead and meet our meanest member of the DLC so far. This is Tormantelo, the Hell Pig Pokemon. Many consider this wild hog to be completely uncontrollable. Tormantelo are voracious predators who eat anything they can catch, then rolling their prey along their back to toast them before devouring them. They were once thought to be ancestors to Emboar, but research indicates that they are actually closest related to Setamut, and its ability is Anger Point, and that raises attack to the max after receiving a super effective hit. After dealing with this roasted piggy, you turn around and come face to face with another Pokemon that looks like it wants to nom your face off. In the last episode, we got Gipster's tiny little Lysucus, but his stem mammal is going to get quite a bit bigger and tougher. Now, I've got some pretty sizable tweaks to make here. Originally, the design was based on Smilodon or saber-toothed cats, but unfortunately, good old Primal Persian is already based on that. So we're keeping pretty much everything else the same, but swapping the head for another big-toothed critter, the Therapsid Gorgonopsid. So let's go ahead and meet another hungry Pokemon, Lysogorg, the mammal Pokemon. This fierce beast is incredibly aggressive and difficult to train. During the evolution process, Lysogorg become much more physically intimidating, but do not think through their actions. Forming a bond with this Pokemon will hopefully keep it from attacking you, but it will still take a great deal of effort to train its feral mind, and its ability remains Moxie. You are pretty over dodging vicious Pokemon like Lysogorg and Tormantelo on the side of an active volcano by the time you finally slip inside of the power station. You find that the mechanism which allows the plant to generate power has been partially disabled. You can see that there are a number of gears that should fit together, but they're nowhere to be seen. You explore the dark halls and walkways of the power plant and approach something that looks like sparking electricity. Unfortunately, it turns out to be a very large Pokemon. Alright, I have to thank Crimson for giving us a design that I didn't even have to redraw, and if you don't know Crimson, you absolutely must check out his YouTube channel and the ridiculously amazing Revlar region. It's linked below, but let's go ahead and learn about his stellar design here. This is Thoriohm, the bulb head Pokemon. These Pokemon will rub their bulbous horns on trees, not to sharpen them, but to charge them with static electricity. The massive amounts of charge that Thoriohm can build up all over their body means that it can be dangerous to pet them. This is a shame, as even the most aggressive-looking Thoriohm enjoys being scratched under their chin. And its ability is Lightning Rod, and that means it absorbs all electric attacks, and instead of taking damage, it boosts their special attack. It's a bulky brute to be avoided as you explore the power plant. Continuing on and peering through the dark, you spot a group of Pokemon playing with the gears that you need to fix the mechanisms. We've got another fun design that brings in a touch of archaeological inspiration. This time from Pint-Sized Kiwi. I'll link to their channel below. So, what they are folding into this design are the Egyptian god of knowledge, the ibis, since it's like the corresponding animal for that, the Rosetta Stone, and the Troodon, since it was a real dino smarty. And there's just a couple really cute details that I appreciate here, like the writing quill look of the tail, and the little circles under the eyes that feel very like librarian glasses. Well, and again, we are trying to get more monotypes in the region, so I did take away the dragon typing that was on the submission, so we now have a solid mono psychic type. Let's learn about Trusetis. The only fossils left behind by this extremely intelligent creature were intricate claw marks left by their elongated talons. It is suspected that early humans were inspired to create the written language by watching Trusetis create their beautiful carvings. Scientists suspect that they have a language of their own, but it is yet to be deciphered. And its ability is insomnia, which means it cannot be put to sleep. You run after them, and it takes some time to corner them in different spots around the building. Eventually, you manage to catch all of them and retrieve the gears you need to fix the power plant. It is a bit of a puzzle, but you eventually get things back in working order, and you hear the power cables leading back to the central lab humming with power. But we'll pick up from there in the final episode of the DLC. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. A big thank you to Gibster and all of the other artists whose designs made it in. And with that, I'll catch you in the next one. Later, nerds!